and a welcome here to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora inside of the Great Lakes Honda City Studios. I am happy to be back here in the state of New York. We're back home here after not a long flight, but a long layover that became a longer layover in a very strange situation that nobody seemed to be able to understand. Even when they put the messages out and they gave like the updates didn't make any sense. But I'm happy that we're home. I'm happy that we're here. When you feel like, in this world where you're like, am I crazy? Is there something that I'm missing here? And then you get on the plane and the pilot goes, yeah, we don't really have a good reason why you've been waiting this long. It hasn't really been told to us that makes any sense. So, you kind of know that you're not in the same, you're in the same boat and you're not alone. So I'm happy to be here, happy to be back. Yesterday felt like a full day of travel. It was crazy. My day started 70 degrees in Miami. It ended -12 in Syracuse. So we're back here. We're excited. And I could say this. I went to bed at like 3-something in the morning. And then the OCC men's lacrosse team was practicing less than 3 hours later. And they were practicing in the cold. So all I had to do was go to my car in the cold. These gentlemen had to practice. We're going to talk about what that's like. And we'll get into it with Richie. And we're going to school him a little bit. We're going to teach him about some Chris Farley, give him some culture here this morning with Coach Mattox. So happy to be here with you. We're inside these Great Lakes Honda City Studios. We're up and down the East Coast, the Midwest, the West Coast, and all around the globe on YouTube.com and Facebook.com, both /WakeUpCallDT and on WakeUpCallDT.podbean.com. I want to thank the great state of Florida, our second home of Dan Tortora Broadcast Media. And, of course, Wake Up Call. We do so much work down there with FSU, Miami, as well as UCF, South Florida, the Orlando Magic over the years, and having the opportunity to cover the Jacksonville Jaguars, the Tampa Bay Rays, Tampa Bay Bucks, Miami Dolphins, and most recently, I want to thank the city of Miami, Florida, and the entire South Beach area and Miami-Dade and everything encompassing for the College Football Playoff National Championship. I was just there for about half a week, and we got to go live a bunch of times, so I want to thank them for their hospitality. I want to thank the Orange Bowl Committee, the College Football Playoff Committee, and everybody in Miami for all that they did. Inside of today's broadcast, inside of MonPazPopcorn.com's What's Poppin', we're going to start the show off with our exclusive multimedia marketing partnership with the Onondaga Community College Lasers. We are laser focused and locked in this morning on the men's lacrosse team and head coach Erik Mattox, as well as student athlete Richie Martinez. Happy to be here with you to have the opportunity to have that conversation in just a few moments. And then we'll get into an all-new episode of NeapoliDANS. And I've never seen anything like this before. I wanted to do something original. That's what we're about here on the show. So, Dan Villari is a draft prospect for the 2026 NFL Draft, and he's been joining me weekly outside of 1 week when he was at the Hula Bowl, but weekly joining me Wednesdays at 9:45 a.m. Eastern Time to tell his story in his path to the draft every single week, and each episode has a title like a sitcom. This one is Outside Noise Belongs Outside. We have some fun with it, and I can't wait to share it with you, and an ode to Nunzio Campanelli, who's now over at UConn. And we'll round out today's show at 10:45 a.m. Eastern Time with an experience that I can't believe I had, and I get to share it with you. We were able to record this yesterday morning, and it was after the college football playoff, after the champions press conference, and after the press conference of the passing of the torch from Miami to Las Vegas, Nevada for the college football playoff. I will have my special one-on-one conversation with multiple topics pertinent to collegiate athletics this morning, and definitely college football. Rich Clark, the executive director of the college football playoff, will be on Wake Up Call in just a little while. So, with that being said, and without further ado, I am picture-in-picture with the gentleman here, head coach Erik Mattox and Richie Martinez here of OCC Men's Lacrosse. And, of course, we are here to bring you our preview to the 2026 season and more. Gentlemen, how are we doing this morning?
Doing great, Dan. Thanks for having us today.
Absolutely. My pleasure. And, Richie, I got to go right back to this. I mean, what has Coach told you about, I'm not going to listen, the time that you're alive, is the best time of your life, right? Because it's the only time that you can affect. You can't affect the past, you can't affect the future, but if you live the present the right way, you can affect all three. So it's not your fault that you weren't born for Eddie Murphy and Bernie Mac and Chris Farley and all these moments where comedy was just comedy. But has Coach allowed you a look inside of that comedic world? Has he shown you, any movies? Has he had you listen to any music? We were talking off the air about there's some music that he'll play in practice that brings you back to that. So, hey, essentially what I'm asking is, have you gotten cultured with the 80s and the 90s and a time where life was just life and people didn't have opinions about everything?
Mm-hmm. I'd say, of course. I mean, we listen to some of the best music. We got, like Wu-Tang Clan, a bunch of other ones, old school rock, country sometimes. I've never been a big country guy, but starting to like some country music. I will say my dad and my mom always listen to 70s or 80s, and my dad's he's a Marine, so I got that in me. So I mean, he keeps me on check, and he likes to joke around. So I got a good experience with the past.
You said Coach is letting you listen to the Woo. Has he also brought you to Bone Thugs and Harmony? Has he given you any of that?
I think that'll be something I got to queue up for tomorrow morning.
Yeah. He's got to play you Crossroads by Bone Thugs and Harmony. There's another song from them that I can remember being in the car with my cousin Jeremy down in Florida driving around. I can't remember the name of the song, but I can remember where I was when I heard it. So you definitely got to get some of that. You said that you are the son of a Marine. What's your dad's first name?
Steve.
So shout out to Steve, and thank you, Steve, for your service if you're watching and listening. I appreciate it so much. So you got a head coach in Coach Mattox that's having you do 3-a-days, and then you go home to a Marine. Do you ever have a break?
No.
Hey, we push success all the time, man.
Exactly. I love it, though.
So what is it like having a father that's a Marine and that experience for you? Obviously an incredible job and incredible sacrifice to the country and to the world. What is that experience like for you?
It's great. I mean, it definitely helped me with my mental strength, my grittiness. He used to be my football coach when I was younger, and any mistake I was running, I got my workouts in, and I don't know, I just feel like he kept me grounded in a world that's becoming a little chaotic, and he just kept me there. So it was good.
Yeah. So, well, I mean, and like you said, in a world that's becoming chaotic, you have that mental strength. Coach, bring me into the mental strength, mental health world. When you and I were growing up, there wasn't a lot of emphasis on it. We told somebody we were having a tough day, and they would say, "Suck it up." Stop being a wimp and this and that.
Yeah.
Nowadays there's all these different things for it. There's all of these resources for student athletes. You and I didn't have that. When I was playing basketball, it was like, figure it out. You're out there playing lacrosse, figure it out. So what can you say to the mental health and mental strength and mental focus that we have for student athletes now? Because this is all they know, but they don't know a world that didn't have an emphasis on it.
Yeah, I think it's huge. I think mental health is huge. I think it speaks towards the times that we're in, right? Anxiety a lot. But it's something that we touch base on a weekly basis, right? We start every single practice, and I do it for a reason. We start with a quote of the day, and we talk about it, and then during the season, preseason, even into the fall, there's times that I take kids over to counseling. I let them know that this is just part of being an athlete, taking care of the spirit, the mind, the body. It's way better to work all in one cohesive unit, we'll say.
Yeah, and with you helping them with that now, people, because they have that resource, like you said, you take them over there and you kind of just make it part of their day, right? Part of their experience in college, part of the regimen, so to speak, which I think normalizes it. How important is that for you to give them that? And, by having it be a part of their collegiate experience, it essentially takes away the negative stigma that going to counseling means that you're crazy or that you're not worthy of something?
Yeah, I think it's huge. I think there's a huge stigma. And, as men, sometimes we're taught to just be strong, like you said, right? And I think it helps to break down some of those stereotypes. And I think it makes us better, man, when we're in touch with that side, right? Our thoughts, our feelings, how we interact with others, how that will play into that, you know?
Yeah.
So, I'm a big advocate for mental health. I'm a big advocate for reaching out, checking in on our brothers, right? I think those are all important steps. This summer up here at OCC, we as a team, we went through something really hard together. And we started a foundation called Two for You. And that was because one of our players lost his battle to mental health. So it's something as a team that we take very serious, and it's dear to our heart.
Yeah, and Richie, and I'm sad for your loss, and I'm happy that it's bringing you closer together. You always hope that tragedies have the kind of beautiful way of bringing people closer and maybe preventing it from happening again. There's two ways you can go when a tragedy happens. You can spiral downward and have a negative effect, or you can say like, hey, this happened, it was tough, let's make sure nobody else gets to this point. So Richie, just bring me into that. I mean, a brother who passes away in connection with mental health, just navigating through that and leaning on your family at OCC.
So he was one of my best friends. I used to hang out with him and my boy Wyatt too. He played here last year. We were really close. It was heartbreaking hearing that on the phone. I remember bawling, like falling apart, like falling into pieces for a while. And I ended up getting closer to God throughout that. And that helped me a lot. And it made me realize like he never showed anything. Like he was always happy, always laughing, always smiling. And I just never even knew. And it just made me more aware of just wanting to check in on people and make sure they're good. They could be smiling, having a good time, and just be like, hey, how you been? Just making sure they're there. So I guess that's the good out of that, but it was definitely hard.
Well, and I think, to your point, if somebody responds in a happy way, we just kind of keep rolling, right? Like if you talk, and what do most people say? Right? When you say, hey, they say, hey. You say, how are you? They say, good. And you keep it moving. Mm-hmm. And you never really truly know. And I think you just hit on a huge point. And I don't know if you did, but I don't know if you know what you just said and how impactful it can be. But it's when you see a happy person, still reach out to them.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
That's such a huge thing. You said that this whole tragedy and tough time brought you closer to God. Amen to that, and I'm happy to hear that. What can you say about your relationship with God this morning?
Good. I read my Bible every morning, every night. I pray. I just try to stay close to him. I stay grounded. Sometimes like I'll be driving, listening to music. I'll just turn it off and just try and stay there and just be present in the moment. It helped me stay grounded. It's helped me with like my mental battles, stay calm, stay positive, and just stay more confident and on a even goal.
Coach, I mean, you hear the student athlete sitting next to you talk about this and speak about things in such a way that shows that he has definitely grown in ways that some people that are far older than him have not. Having a room full of these young men, what is it like to coach them, to teach them when you see them lean on God, when you see them lean on each other, when you see a rose grow out of this battlefield, so to speak?
Yeah. It's amazing, man. These are the things that we pray for. You know what I mean? To be that beacon of light in the world. I've gotten into this is Richie's second year. He's a captain up here for us.
Yeah.
And his leadership, it just kind of like we all feel it. As a head coach, I take the lead on a lot of things, but these guys learn from each other the best. So I'm proud of him. I'm proud of the man he's becoming. He's got two great parents at home that are helping to lead that charge, as you can tell. But I think that relationship with God is that's key. in everything we do.
Yeah, I love it. I love hearing it. Richie, we talked about your dad. We gave a shout out to Steve. What's your mom's name?
Jamie.
Jamie. So what do you want to say to Jamie? Because I'll tell you this right now, having a mom that I know, every meal she makes, you could like 900 meals in a row. She makes 901. You don't tell her what you think of that meal, then she might literally go upstairs, cry, never want to cook again. Okay, I have a strong mother. I have a great mother, and I know very well that we gave Dad a shout out. If I don't give Jamie a shout out, she's gonna come after me too. So I want to know about Mom and what your favorite thing is about Mom.
Oh man, my mom, she's just the most loving person. She'll do anything for you. Like, she's breaking her back doing a million different things for us all the time. And the food's amazing. Love you, Mom. But she keeps me grounded. She keeps me calm. I'll call her all the time and just check in, and it's just great having a mom like that. Very powerful.
Yeah, it's all about family, right? On the field, and of course when you're in your own home. Richie, why did you come to OCC? What was the selling point? What got you there? What keeps you there? Why OCC?
Coming to OCC, I started at Hampton. I played Hampton football and lacrosse. Things weren't going so well. I had some problems with certain things. And then I got reached out by one of my buddies that were here. And I started looking into the school. I'm seeing all the championships. And then I come visit. Yeah. And the thing that really sold me for that was the bonding, like the team camaraderie around it. They were just so unified. It was like one. I've never seen people so together and as a unit, and that was something different. I noticed there's been diversity on teams. I've seen teams fall apart, but the biggest thing is seeing how everyone's on the same page and going for the same goal, and they want something bigger, whether it's beyond this or just get in that ring, wherever it is. It's just one fluid path.
Yeah. So you saw that family, you saw that connection again, going back to family. How quickly did you commit to OCC? After your buddy calls you, you experience it a little bit. How fast were you like, this is my home?
Maybe 2 to 3 days. It was quick. Okay. It was quick. It was once I got that, I was like, yeah.
So for you both, as we head into this season in 2026, with snow on the ground and are preparing, I always find it interesting when I see lacrosse practicing and there's snow piles that have been pushed off the field. And I remember that at OCC, I kind of, ironically connecting everything back here. But as we get ready for 2026 and all that this season can be, Coach, I'll start with you. What this makeup of this team is, the identity, the feel, for somebody to say, what is OCC lacrosse right now? Like, what is this team makeup feel like? What's their personality? Bring us into the season.
Yeah, man. It's a brotherhood up here. We play for the guy next to us. There's a saying in our locker room: arrive strangers, leave brothers. And we push that daily, man. We push to become the best we can individually become, as well as a team, right? We put that together, man. We're something fierce. We're working hard. We go by this, and I got it from Coach Fran Brown at Syracuse, DART, right? And DART stands for detailed, accountable, relentless, and target. So on everything we do, that's the way we move, So, we have very high expectations as a team. We understand what our why is and who we're doing this for. I feel really good about our chances this year.
Yeah, and like you said, I mean, playing for the guy next to you, being excited. There's a lot of history, of course, with OCC men's lacrosse, and with Chuck Wilbur and a lot of championships. What makes you believe that we can be putting more banners up, have more hardware, more rings? Why is OCC men's lacrosse bringing it this year?
I got to it's funny, it's kind of come full circle for me. So I got to be a part of that first team up here at OCC when Chuck Wilbur first got hired. Yeah. And I like to think I got to put down a lot of the roots to lead to 12-time national champions. And this year it's getting back to our roots, working hard, outworking everybody, making practices harder than the games, so the games are the celebration. Preparing ourselves for those hard battles that are to come, that we know are coming regardless this season. Preparing ourselves now, right? Yep. So we put in those extra sprints. We run the sprints before we even pick up our stick, so we get to that feeling in our heart of fourth quarter, right, where it's already hard to breathe, right? My legs are already tired. Now let's go play. Yep. You know what I mean? So we're preparing for the long haul this season. We got a ton of talent, really deep. We got great leadership. And like I said, our expectations are very high this year.
Yeah, and Richie, to know that your practice, the way that you start things off at 6 a.m., getting after it, running, getting your body moving and all that, and then, like Coach said, making you tired and then telling you to play so that he can simulate you being tired at the end of the game, still having your legs, still having your arms, and still having that mental fortitude to get through everything. What has this regimen taught you? How has your body responded? And do you feel like anybody's going to make you tired this season after having 3-a-days?
I will say the mental thing that it gave me is that pain isn't real. That's how I'm going to put it. Your mental, your body will, or your brain will give up before your body. That's how I'm going to put it. No matter how hard or how tired you are, if you just keep pushing, go one more step, you're just going to keep going. Left foot under the right. I don't think anybody's going to be able to make me tired this year. I believe that. And I think we're going to be so well-rounded and set for that we're going to put the foot on the gas and really take it home.
Richie, you said you played at Hampton, which I know Hampton crossed paths with it a time or two, and you said you played football and lacrosse. What is it about lacrosse that you fell in love with? Bring me back to, like, the moment you fell in love with lacrosse that you remember. and then bring me to today, why you're still in love with it. Because there's this thing that I say all the time: you either love it or you think you love it. If you love it, you'll get knocked on the ground, you get back up. After a while, you kind of enjoy being knocked on the ground. If you think you love it, you'll get knocked on the ground, you'll look around and go, I don't have to do this. So when did you fall in love with lacrosse? Bring us into that moment, and why have you stayed in love?
So I started when I was younger, around like third or fourth grade. I think the moment I really fell in love with it was high school, my sophomore year. I was smaller, so I was like 5'6", 120 pounds, so I'd get bullied. But I was like, I really want to be able to play. I really want to be able to play. And it just took off from there. I was hitting the wall, taking shots, lifting, really building my frame. And once I got back onto that field and starting for my high school season and actually playing, it was the best feeling I think I ever had. And having that feeling of just being able to compete and stay competitive and be able to put my body in the best position possible, I think that's what keeps me going.
Coach, same for you. Do you have a moment that you can go back to that you're like, this is when I fell in love with the sport of lacrosse, and why have you stayed in love?
Yeah, man, it's just been the medicine in my life that I've needed. When you go and you find the roots to this game, you find that it's a very spiritual game, right? They say that it was given from the Creator to the Native Americans here. I believe that, since the first time I picked up a stick at 6 years old, 7 years old, it stayed with me my entire life. At this point in my life, I got 3 kids at home. I have one that plays Division I lacrosse herself. And my wife has now become a lacrosse player at her age, just from the front yard games after dinner now that we play. So it's just a lifestyle, and it's just something that has always been there. I was just talking to the guys before I came in, and for me, it's just been like the medicine that at certain point in my life I've needed, right? Outside of the field and the actual games. something happens and you're deep in thought. I usually, to this day, I pick up my stick and I go hit a wall. And it's me, the ball, my stick, and the wall. And, I'm figuring out those next steps. So I can't, the exact moment, man, those were millions of moments in between from when I started to now that I continue to fall in love with this great sport that I'm just honored to be a part of, honored to coach, and love building up other people around me.
You talked about it being the medicine that you need. Why use that word?
Culturally, there's medicine in this game, right? There's a way that you come into this. We talk about that. I got a book right over here that speaks about it as well. But for me, and I just had one of the players ask me, they were like, what do you mean? Well, what if they don't get that medicine? And I was like, you'll understand it later in life. You know what I mean? And it's just through, I'm going to say just through throwing that ball on the wall or whatever. But I'm able to, me personally, the way I can explain it is I'm able to get my thoughts out, right? I'm able to focus in, think about the problem in other ways that maybe I haven't before, or the situation before. It means a ton to me.
Richie, why is lacrosse medicine for you?
I was gonna say a similar thing. It helped me mentally just like become stronger. I mean, I used to have a lot of problems with like anxiety, depression, all this, and I noticed just in the 2 years I've been here, my mental has got so much stronger, and I'm gonna give the dedication to lacrosse and God on that, because just hitting the wall and sitting there late nights, 12 in the morning, just hitting the wall, and I'm with my buddies or whatever, and just not thinking, just having fun. Your brain's just completely empty and there's no worry in the world. And I think that's my medicine for it.
Before we get into rapid fire, here with this special for OCC Men's Lacrosse in this Lazer Lounge in our exclusive multimedia marketing partnership with Onondaga Community College, here with head coach Erik Mattox and Richie Martinez, previewing 2026 and talking about life in general and the bigger picture, faith in God, faith in each other, and more inside the Great Lakes Honda City Studios here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. What do you want to thank each other for the most? Richie, I'll start with you. You're sitting next to your coach. What do you want to thank him for the most?
And the opportunity to do something big, be something great, and be a part of something that's going to be huge. I think that's one of the big things, and the leadership and the ability to be something by what you're teaching me while being here. And that's probably the most important thing that I could have going on later in the life.
Coach?
For Richie, man, I love this guy. It's a 2-year school. I wish it was a 4 so we could keep him a little bit longer. But his leadership, his dedication, his ability to, this is one of the guys I've never had to worry about school with. Lifts, that's just what he does. Hard work, that's what he's made of. So those are the things that I'm appreciative of him being able to teach others and teach myself as well.
And I love how you said, you wish it was a 4-year school and not a 2-year school. I think that's been the conversation about OCC for a long time, going back to Rob Edson, who I think was by far the best leader. And I think he would have, I'll put it to you like this. If Rob Edson was still at OCC and I would have been doing a whole lot of things a long time ago like we should have. And, I definitely miss the man for sure. Let's play some rapid fire. We're gonna go rounds and then back. So I will ask Coach. Coach will ask Richie. Richie will ask me, and then we'll go back. It could be any question, any topic, anything in the world. There is nothing off the table, and we are only live to the world on video and audio, so no pressure. Coach, I am going to. So I'll ask you first. My question for you, Coach, you're a go-getter. I saw that in you. You reached out to me when we had our meeting, and I talked to the coaches about what I was looking to do and my vision for it. You came right up to me. You're like, hey, here's my phone number. Here's how to get in touch. Like, here's my social media. Here's how to get in touch with me. What has made you a go-getter in life, and why are you the person that doesn't wait for somebody to introduce you?
Man, I think it was just the way I was raised, right? We didn't come from much, but we had everything we needed inside the house. You know what I mean? So what that gave me is understanding that, like, hard work works. It's just a quote that I live by. And if you want it, you got to go get it. You got to go get it every single day. And that's the mentality I have. I don't expect anything to be given to me. I think I love the process of earning it day after day.
I love that. I appreciate it. Get it out the mud, so to speak. All right, Coach, you can
get it out the mud.
That's right. You can ask Richie a question. What do you got for Richie?
Yeah. Rich, where do you see yourself in 5 to 10 years from now, right? After college, you graduate, what's some of the things you're going to accomplish?
So some of the things I want to accomplish, I have a few plans. I want to be able to preach the mind, body, and spirit and what that journey did for me, and be able to help the younger generation rewire their brain and get off like the junk of social media and become better men and strengthen them that way. I just want to be able to lead the group of young men and make them stronger so they don't have to go through what I went through.
I love that.
Yeah.
All right, Richie, what do you got for me?
I would say, what's something you would tell me or the younger generation on your path of becoming successful? Like, what's something very important?
I mean, I would tell you, you mentioned him multiple times. It's keeping God first. I mean, God is the only, and this is just real. He's the only opinion that matters. And he loves you every day. He loves you every day. He loves you when you're hurting. He loves you when you're thriving. He loves you when you're confused. He loves you when it's clear. He loves you when people are in your corner. He loves you when they're not. He loves you when you have money. He loves you when you don't. He loves you when you don't know what your next move is going to be, and he loves you when you're confident in exactly where you're going. God's the constant. I would say that this world has gotten itself where it's gotten itself right now because we don't talk about God enough. We don't celebrate God enough. The media does a horrendous job at keeping God out of the world, and they do it on purpose. The devil is alive, but God is a heck of a lot stronger. And I do believe, and this kind of goes back to the spirit and back to lacrosse in a way, and I think, Coach, you can go with me on this. I go back to the tale of two wolves, and there's that wolf that is about fear and angst and paranoia and pain and suffering and worry and what does everybody think about me, and then there's that wolf of love and kindness and generosity and empathy and determination and perseverance. And the little boy asks his grandfather, which wolf wins, and he says, the one you feed. So I would just say to your generation, come back to God, know your creator. You didn't make yourself. We live in a society where we have so much information, but we're ignorant. How can we believe as human beings that we created ourselves before we existed out of thin air by mistake, and dogs can communicate with humans, humans can communicate with cats, trees have vibrancy and life, things can tell you when they're well, they can tell you when they're sick. How can I communicate with my dog? She can understand my language, my tendencies, and she can essentially have verbal communication by barking back to me and understanding something, but also this communication that goes beyond that. The fact that we can connect to people of different languages, different backgrounds, different ethnicities, different parts of the world, and we all smile the same, laugh the same, cry the same, we hug and kiss to show that we care, we shake hands to show that we're connected, and then we can connect to animals. To think in a world that has more information than it's ever had, that we're trying to disprove God and state that all of these things happened in unison in a perfect orchestra by mistake is ridiculous. And I think if this world turned back toward God, stop thinking that we're so great and we feel ourselves, and we start actually taking the ego out of it, caring about each other, and doing a kind deed, this world changes overnight. We can literally change the world overnight if we all get on our knees, remember that we're not bigger than the biggest, we talk to Him, we ask Him to guide us, and we pray a prayer that is one of the things that strip us down to who we really are. And that prayer is, guide us, God, to you, guard us from what is not you, and put your will over our want. If you strip it down and you say, take out of my life what is not, I just said a prayer to God in these last few days. I said, if it's not good, if it looks like it's good for me, but it's not you, take it away. I would rather suffer with you than thrive without you. If we can start praying that way, watch this world become a completely different place in 24 hours. And if we don't think it can happen, if we all did it, it changes. You go to a concert, one person holds up their phone with the light on it, it's dim. Everybody does it in unison, that whole thing lights up, and you can see it from the sky. That's what we need to do. We need to start lighting up our phones together at the same time.
I love it.
That's perfect.
I love it.
My question...
And I got a quick one. I know I'm going to go out of order. I got one for you.
Yeah.
What do you want to accomplish in the next year?
Man, I want to meet good people. And, I mean, in this world that I'm in, I dedicate myself to every single partnership that I have, every school that I work with, every business that I work with. And I don't think everybody gets it. I don't think a lot of people take time for it. I don't think that they actually see it. And so I want to work with good partners, and I want to work with people that have a vision and a mission and a dedication. And, God's led me to some of the best people, and He's led me to some challenges. And I love them both, and I think they both are going to make me better. So I would say in this next year, to find the right people to move this thing forward together, and to just help people open their minds, help me to open my mind, and to be willing to learn and to see. I can't tell you how many conversations I have nowadays where people just, they're uneducated, they're unwilling to move, they're stuck in their ways. They don't give anybody, they have a meeting before they have the meeting. And I don't think that that's fair. I think in this next year, I hope people listen to me intently, and I will listen to them intently, and let's make history together. Some things are so simple that they become hard, and I will never get that. I think if you can find somebody who loves and cares about what you're doing and how you're doing it, find a way to keep that person in your corner, because you're going to be begging for that person down the road.
Absolutely. I like that.
My question to you, Coach, before we come back around here, let's see here. Oh, no, I asked you a question. So let me go back to Richie. Richie, my question to you, if you could give advice to a student athlete right now, if you could talk to the world, regardless of level, regardless of JUCO or NCAA or whatever, if you could say, hey, here are my bullet points. This is what I've learned. These are the most important things you need to know about being a student athlete, what would you say?
I would say you have to have discipline. You can't take anything for granted. You have to get a relationship with God. That's huge. Do the extras. Do what you need to do day to day, but go out of your way and do more. Be kind, be caring, and just make sure you're good as well. Just check in on yourself. That's, I think, is a good one. I think people get lost of worried about other people or they're too fixated on themselves and don't realize what's really going on, but just really focus on like what's really going on with it.
Yeah, I love that. Check in with you, check in with others. It's important. You got your question for Coach now.
Yeah.
Make it good, because he's not going to let you ask another one.
I'm thinking. What made you want to coach at OCC specifically?
Yeah, I think this was part of the bigger plan for me. You know, I was at a different school before here. I was at Casanova College. I was actually coaching women's lacrosse, you know. How'd I get into women's lacrosse? I had a little girl first. And just sharing that joy of the game brought me to the collegiate level. Really passionate. Whatever I do, I try to be passionate about, you know, lead through love, through guidance, all those things that we're talking about right now. But I just felt this push in my life that, you know, this was the next stop. Don't you know, I get an interview up here, get the job. And actually, Mike Boers, our athletic director, he was giving me a tour of the place after the interview. And we went into the computer lab, and it had a quote on the wall, right? And I knew that I was supposed to be here because like I said before, I start every single practice with a quote of the day. So I'm like reading the quote, and I'm like, man, I'm supposed to be here. This is the next spot for me. Went to 3 national championships back to back, winning the last one, and then got an opportunity to take over the men's role up here as the men's coach. And just how the timing had played out. My daughter had gotten a D1 full scholarship. So, you know, she was on her path. I felt like I did what I needed to do there. This is my love, man, you know, and to be able to coach young men in this sport, young women in this sport, I don't take it for granted at all. So, you know, I think OCC was kind of more on my path, being an alumni of here as well. It's always been a place that I came to that I really found out who I was. You know what I mean? And I had this special community around me. I think we've all said this, Dan, like we wish this was a 4-year place, right? But it's like just the right amount of time, probably in hindsight, 2 years to figure out what you're made of, who you are, what you stand for real quick, you know? So that's how I'm here. I'm grateful for every day that I get to lead this great program. And, you know, I don't know what's next.
Yeah, I love it. Coach, you did ask me one, but now in the effort of fairness here, of going back around the circle, you can ask me one more.
Yeah. Who's someone that you've interviewed that you were like, man, that person's I didn't know that about them, or you know, you didn't think that you'd be interviewing them. You know what I mean? Like over the last, you know, me and Richie were talking about it before we got on, and I was like, hey, have you done your homework about this show? I think that was at 6:00 this morning, before we were practicing. So, you know, like some of the names that we see and some of the pictures, we were like, man, he is up and coming. He is doing his thing. But like for you yourself, who do you pinch? And you're like, man, that was cool. I learned a lot from that situation.
I got to give it to the man that helped me make the decision at the time that I did to start my company at 26 years old with 27 cents in my pocket and $103 in my bank account, and living with my grandmother and taking care of her and being her main caregiver at the time so that she didn't have to go to a nursing home. And that was Floyd Little. I sat in his office and we talked for 2 hours. I aired 45 minutes of it. The hour 15 that I didn't air was probably even better, and that was between us. And, you know, I'll never forget, I was really going through a tough time. I was working at a radio station. To say I was underpaid would be a gross exaggeration. And I think I made like $32 a week and I raised $30,000. I got $3,100 of the $30,000 I raised. I had no assistance, no help, nobody there for me on the weekend. They refused to promote the show. It took months for me to do it. They laughed in my face when I asked them to keep their word to me, and I brought them a contract. It was like amateur hour, and I was just sitting there saying to myself, like, what are you doing? Like, why are you working for people that have no respect for you, no care? If you died tomorrow, they'd keep moving. They'd give your accounts to somebody else. And, you know, being in that moment, I was really, really feeling the anxiety of it. And I was down. I was depressed. I was confused. I was just kind of shaking in my chest. And I went to Floyd, and I decided to talk to him. And he looked at me. I'll never forget this conversation. And you got to go with me, because when Floyd spoke, he would like get loud, and then he'd whisper. And I miss him. I can't believe that he's one of my closest friends. And because to me, he's, you know, this larger than life human being. And then for 8 years before he passed, we spent all this time together. And I still remember calling him. I pulled into the parking lot at Destiny USA, and I talked to him on the phone for an hour. And it was just about life. It had nothing to do with football, and it wasn't an interview. And so when I was in his office that day before I started my company, I talked to my mom, I talked to my dad, I talked to my grandma, my mom's mom that I was taking care of. I call her G-Mama. And Floyd said this to me. I'm going to say it the way he said it, because there was a way he went about things. So he looked at me, and I thought he was on the phone, and he leaned back in his chair, and I'm like there, and here I am thinking, like, I don't want to interrupt. And he looks right at me, and I was kind of like antsy, like I wanted to jump out of my own skin. I was like, what am I doing wrong? Like, I'm doing everything I possibly can and more for this place. They don't appreciate me. I don't know where to go. I don't want to go to this other place. Like, how do I keep doing what I love? And he looked at me, and he goes, you? He said, you got that aura. You just got it. He said, there's certain people that you can see it. You can see the light. You can see it around them. And he said, you got that. I can see it. You're going to be all right. You're going to be successful. I know. And I walked out of there, and I started my company. He was like the last voice. And that was it. And so I told him that while he was alive. I'm like, do you know, like, the effect that you had on me? I mean, this amazing human being that knew 1 million people, probably 5 million people, and I'd go into a post-game press conference, and he'd turn around, and he'd have his blue suit on with his orange shirt, always looking like, you know, $100 million. And he'd look right at me, catch my eye, big smile on his face, put his arms out, and he'd go, Dan, there he is, and give me a hug. And I still look for him at press conferences, and it breaks my heart. I probably could cry anytime I talk about this, but yeah, I mean, to say that I never played football, but I was in Syracuse, and Floyd Little helped me make a decision. You know, Ernie Davis helped him make his decision, and Floyd helped me make my decision. And I will always be indebted to him and grateful to him that he helped me to have the strength I didn't know that I had.
That's pretty cool, man. Thanks for sharing that.
Yeah. So with that being said, this Lazer Lounge, OCC Men's Lacrosse, we have gone beyond our time because I didn't want to get off the line with these guys. Head coach Erik Mattox.
Oh, man, thank you. We appreciate you, Dan.
Well, I appreciate you.
Keep up with us this year. Please come out to a game. Head up to the booth. We'll put you to work, and we'd love to have you around us, man. Thank you.
Well, I appreciate it. And with guys like Richie, I'd love to obviously come and meet the whole team. Richie Martinez, Erik Mattox here with OCC Men's Lacrosse. Go and support them this season in 2026 at home and on the road, and keep God first, y'all. Thank you, Richie. Thank you, Erik. And more than anything, thank you for sharing this conversation with somebody out there in the world that needs it.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Talk soon. And coming from the gents here, We went a little bit over time, but because it was worth it and because they brought an amazing conversation to a world that needs to hear conversations like this. So we'll take a step aside for a fast break. When we come back, we will have what we were supposed to have at 9:45. And I appreciate your patience. Dan Villari, and the newest episode of NeapoliDANS is coming up. I just didn't want to let go of a conversation that is the whole reason why I worked with OCC. It's the whole reason why I had this plan. It's the whole reason why I implemented it. And it's the whole reason that it's a multi-layered, multi-year, just developmental thing. And unfortunately, not everybody always sees what you see. But I'm going to give everything I can to the final blow of the whistle, because if you ain't sweating, you ain't working. And I'm just happy I got to get Erik on, because that was a spirit that I really wanted y'all to see. And for him to pick Richie, awesome pick. And I'm sure there's plenty of amazing players on this team. And we've, in less than 6 months, you have helped us reach over 60,000 people on 2 outlets alone. And we're on, like, whatever it is at this point, 12, 13 outlets. Working with OCC, we have reached more people in 5 months than maybe they reach in 5 years. And I can't thank you enough for the dedication, for the love, for the messages, and the families, the just community around OCC. I have tried for 12 years to get a spotlight on them, tried to get their leadership to see the importance of doing this. And for a short amount of time, I've gotten to put the spotlight on these student athletes, these coaches, and administration, and they deserve it. OCC should have had it a long time ago. I showed up a long time ago, and like I said, if Rob Edson was still alive, we probably at this point would have been on top of a mountain figuring out how to get on top of the next one. So anything that I've gotten to do for OCC over the years has been with love and dedication and the want for people that aren't covered to get covered. And you just hope that people pick up what you're putting down. And I'm grateful for conversations like the one today with Erik and with Richie. Let's take a step aside for a fast break inside the Great Lakes Honda City Studios. When we come back, all new episode of NeapoliDANS, Outside Noise Belongs Outside. And some laughs and some thoughts about Nunzio Campanelli and how something that once seemed like a burden has turned into a blessing.
Hi, this is Amy from Mother's Cupboard, home of the whole frittata. We are open daily 6 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. For takeout orders, call 315-432-0942 and tune in to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora for our monthly food challenge and try our Wake Up Call signature menu item available 7 days a week. Here at Mother's Cupboard, we are Central New York, and it's our honor to serve you.
Ma and Pa's Kettle Corn and Popcorn Factory remind us that every day is worth celebrating at 201 7th North Street in Liverpool, New York. Open Monday through Saturday in-store and always online at maandpaspopcorn.com. Serving our Central New York community and beyond, order anywhere, anytime at maandpaspopcorn.com. Stop in to get a tin at Ma and Pa's on 201 7th North Street in Liverpool, New York to get your half-price refills for the rest of your life. Come to Ma and Pa's for your holiday gift giving for family, friends, employees, and clients. And remember, for fundraising and events, to call 315-450-6272. That's 315-450-6272. Ma and Pa's Kettle Corn and Popcorn Factory. How corny are you?
This is Jimmer Sikowski, owner-operator of Chick-fil-A Cicero, 7916 Brewerton Road in Cicero, right in front of the Home Depot. I had a deep feeling that God wanted me to do something bigger with my life and to help people, help others. I kept putting Chick-fil-A in my life, and I realized as I was going through the franchise selection process that positively impacting the lives of others was really core to what we do here at Chick-fil-A. First of all, it starts with the food. The food is brought in fresh daily. We bring in local produce. We prepare to order in the kitchen. We hand bread our chicken. We hand spin our milkshakes. It's great food. It doesn't taste like fast food. I think the second thing is the way people feel when they come in a Chick-fil-A restaurant. It's different. We try to treat people with intentional kindness here, which is very different and deeper than good customer service. And so I think it feels remarkable for most people to come in a Chick-fil-A restaurant. And then lastly, the impact that we try to have in the community is very different. It's a big part of the expectation of every operator of a Chick-fil-A restaurant is that they're actively engaged in their community, they're a leader in the community, and they're making a difference. When they realize that what we're striving to do is to shine a little light in their life, that's a very, very different experience than you will have in any other quick service restaurant. And it's that remarkable experience that I think people will emotionally connect with.
And now a message from Myers Creek Brewing Company, with locations at their Cazenovia Farm Brewery, Syracuse Inner Harbor Tap Room, and soon-to-be Lake Placid Tap Room.
Well, I think first and foremost, the Feldmeyer family and our team are extremely passionate about what we do. We care very much about what we do. The Feldmeyer family is always investing. Our taproom management team, our brew management team, our marketing management team, and all of the team members that get after it every day, they leave it on the field. They put their heart and soul into it. I know for a fact that everyone that works at Myers Creek wants to be there, and we want them to be there. We want them to feel good about their job. And again, if you've never been to Myers Creek, especially to the brewery, I want your eyes to open really big. I want you to see how big of a brand this is. I want you to see where we're going. The sky is the limit, and I feel very proud of that, and I'm very excited about that. When you think of designing a menu for a brewery, it's kind of open to a lot of different interpretations. You can do American, you can do Asian, you can do Italian, and you just have to find, how that meets that pub style dining experience, that gastropub vibe. And I think it's super fun for us because obviously we know that, everyone in the world's going to sell a pizza or a burger or a french fry, but what can we do to be different? And what can we do to be true to who we are? We are a brewery, a brew pub. So the flavor profiles are kind of all over the place, and I think it's super cool that we have a massive smoker at the brewery in Cazenovia, and we smoke a lot of our products. A delicious smoked turkey. We have barbecue ribs on Sundays. From a pulled pork sandwich to a chicken wing, you go to the Inner Harbor and you go to the Caz location and you'll find similarities in the menu, but also things that are a little different and also kind of fit those different demographics or different communities, and also hopefully just drive you to try every tap room that we have open at some point, because you get a little something different at each one. We understand how hard it is to, work every day and get after it every day, and when you're done at the end of your day, you want to go out and put your feet up in a good ambiance and good environment. So we take pride in that. We make sure that everyone knows that they're very much valued to us.
Welcome here to an all-new edition of NeapoliDANS. As you know, we have Dan Villari, myself, Dan Tortora, and NeapoliDANS because we both have that Italian blood that runs through our veins. Always have fun here on the show talking about family, faith, football, and the journey of Dan Villari. I've never seen anything done quite like this with any NFL prospect, and I wanted to make history, and I wanted to do it with somebody that I just felt was the right person for the spotlight, the right person for this opportunity. He obliged me, and here we are in episode 5, which is called Outside Noise Belongs Outside. I've talked about this on the show a lot. Need to take my own advice sometimes, and I'm here with Dan Villari to discuss it. I'm fresh off the college football playoff. He's getting ready for the Senior Bowl. So, Mr. Villari, how are you?
Very good, man. How are you?
I'm doing well, man. And lean back a little bit. I want to see that shirt. So we got the Hula Bowl shirt. And so, we talked last time about the Hula Bowl, and, there were some people down there in the media that actually talked to me after, and we saw Villari, and we really wanted to talk with him. And wanted to spend some time with him, and they said they're like, he killed it. So just so you know, there's been ripple effects to the work that you did out there.
Sweet, man. Glad to hear that.
So outside noise belongs outside. I always say that. It's kind of like one of my quotes is outside noise by definition belongs outside. So leave it there. I'd love to get your thoughts on outside noise and if you've let it affect you ever, or if it's really never been anything you paid attention to.
You know what? I think sometimes I do listen to outside noise, and it honestly pisses me off. And when I'm pissed off, I just work, like I just do extra. I just operate how I normally operate. So it's like a good fuel to my fire. Um, so I think I definitely see it, and I definitely like have a huge chip on my shoulder all the time. And once I make it once I make it to the top, I'm excited to just be like, everybody take back what they said, you know? But I don't get too invested into it. I'm just worried about my routine.
Yeah, and like you said, I mean, when you hear it, it pisses you off, and that can fuel you. And I agree with that. And there is something that I've taken that I heard over the past few years, which was don't do it to prove them wrong, do it to prove yourself right. And I mean, I guess you end up proving the naysayers wrong by proving yourself right, but it's about kind of taking the onus off of them and the control and the power off of them and saying, I'm not doing this for you, I'm doing this for me. In my case, I'm doing it for God. So I'd love to get your thoughts on that of, not achieving something to prove somebody wrong, but achieving something to prove yourself right.
Yeah, absolutely. Just try to prove myself right because I believe in myself. And to be completely honest with you, Dan, the people that know football on a higher level, like they don't really say bad things about me. So like it's mainly the people that don't really have a clue about it. So, I just worry about whatever team I'm on, whoever's in that building, I worry about what they say about me. With the people that really know football and know what it's like to play at an elite level, I listen to what advice they have for me, and it's all been great feedback. So, but yeah, that's been the theme my whole life is prove myself right. I've told family members, I've told friends, like I'm gonna play in the NFL, and whenever you say that to someone, it like you get like goosebumps a little bit because it's like such a huge dream. Back in the day when I was a kid, it's such a huge like thing to say, such a bold thing to say at that time. Some of my friends, family would probably be like, this kid's a little nuts, like that's tough. But and that would even make me feel like, man, why don't I say that with complete confidence sometimes, you know? Why don't I say like I'm gonna go pro with complete confidence? And but I always just said, nah, F that, man. I believe, I believe. And that's how I've thought my entire life. So in a few months here, I'm gonna prove that thought in my head, that first thought I had in my head, like you were right.
Well, and like you said, I mean, having that so many years ago and then doing that, I've had moments like that where I catch myself speechless. And, being at the college football playoff national championship since they expanded to 12, I've been at both of them. And so I got to make history and then do it again. And I just kind of like, I find myself on the field and I'm like, okay, a team won a championship and I'm not on that team, but I feel like I won my own championship. When you were on the field at Syracuse after everything you went through at Michigan and wanting to play quarterback and then switching you to tight end and you didn't really want to do it at first and you were emotional about it. Like, did you have a moment at Syracuse where you felt like I counted myself in and God and I did something? Like, did you have a goosebumps moment at Syracuse?
Um, I thought like that every single day, but the exact moment would probably be when I scored that touchdown against Clemson, my first touchdown in 2023, just because I was begging the coaches to get me the ball that year. Like I was like, Coach, I was making plays in practice. I was like, Coach, like, get me the ball. I promise you I can do things with it. Coach Nuns would tell me like I'm selfish, like I need to just focus on my job uh and then I just remember making that play and I was like I knew it. I knew this. I knew this was always me. And then from there it took off and that was the moment, I think.
You talk about Coach Nuns. He was the quarterback coach, so he could have worked with you. And he was a tight end coach, so he could have worked with you. So, Nunzio Campanelli, how much did you get to work with him in his transition from tight end coach to quarterback coach to tight end coach? Like, did you really get to spend a lot of time with him?
Yeah, he was my coach in 2023, my tight end coach. And then he moved to quarterbacks, and then this past season he moved back to tight ends. So me and him are very close.
What can you say about your relationship with Coach Nunzio Campanelli? Left Syracuse, he's the offensive coordinator. I got a promotion from UConn to run an entire offense. What can you say to what his tutelage has done for you to prepare you for the NFL?
He's so real, man. Besides the fact that he's a great coach and he knows so much football and he's taught me almost, a lot of stuff that I know right now. Um, he's a great human being and he's so real. He was so transparent with me. Every time I was worried about a situation or I had a question, he just told me straight up what the deal was and how I can get myself out of that situation or how I can keep myself in that situation. So he's just a real dude, authentic dude. He's like an uncle to me. Like that guy, I've had some really bad days at practice, and that guy will just come up to you and he'll just say a joke, and I can cuss on you, right?
I mean, you already have multiple times.
Yeah. He'd be like every single day for like 3 years straight. He'd come up to me in warm-ups and he'd be like, Dan, don't forget, don't be a pussy today. every every single day for 3 years. So like he would just when I was at my lowest moments, that guy would remind me why I love the game so much. And a lot of people can make the game could ruin the fun in the game for you, but he always brought the fun to football. So I love him for that.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny to me because you have Italian blood, I have Italian blood, Nuns has Italian blood, and it just seems like that's an Italian thing. Like we can be real, we could be direct, we could be funny, but we can also affect people, and you can do it all in one sentence, like something that Nuns would say.
Exactly. Italians, we got very, very good personalities. Superior personalities, I think.
So when we get back to the outside noise belonging outside, was there ever a time in your life where you let it get to you, like you just kind of sat in it for a while and maybe you started believing what people were saying? Did you ever have a moment like that?
Hmm. Uh, Maybe like in 2022 when I was a quarterback fighting for a spot during camp and I just was playing terrible. Um, that's probably when I was most down in my life. Um, kind of like separated myself from people that summer and didn't really talk to my family much, didn't talk to my friends a lot. I was really, really down bad, but then they changed my position and snapped out of it real quick. So I would say that time. Just going to Michigan, that not working out, coming to Syracuse, I had high hopes, and then it not working out there. that was the lowest point, I think.
Is the move from quarterback to tight end that was once a tough thing, maybe a negative thing, maybe a thought you didn't want to have? You know, they always say God's plan's better than ours.
Mm.
So what once was not your idea, is it now one of the best things that ever happened to you because you're going to be an NFL tight end?
Growing up, you know, I always just thought I was gonna be like the next Tom Brady. Like that's basically it. Like I always in my head I was like I can do it at quarterback. Like I'm gonna be a pro quarterback. I'm gonna invest my entire life into this. And when I was struggling in college a little bit, that that thought crept up like maybe because at Michigan actually, we had Cade McNamara, JJ McCarthy playing, so they saw I was a great athlete, so they actually plugged me in at special teams a little bit. And I think I played like scout team tight end like 2 days or something. And Aiden Hutchinson was lined up across from me. But like they would just pick and plug me places, and they wanted to, just get me on the field helping out. So obviously the position change idea was always in my head, and I always denied it every single day. And I was like, nah, I'm just going to be a super athletic quarterback that makes it in the NFL. So then it's funny how I thought I'd never accept it. I thought there's no way I'll ever, you know how stubborn we are, Italian. So I'm like,
Yeah.
I'll never accept this ever, no matter what. And then it's crazy, one day everything changes, and now it's for the better.
Yeah, and I mean, a final note on that, what once was not your idea is now a great idea and a great opportunity for you. What would be your advice to somebody who is struggling with what people think of them, how people see them, how they view them? Because you had to take hold of your life, right? The media is going to
Yeah.
write what they want to write. They can say things about, oh, you're supposed to make it in Michigan, or oh, you're supposed to be a quarterback in Syracuse, you're not a quarterback. And people can kind of treat people like they're not human beings and they're just stories. So, having gone through people talking about you, maybe not always in the most positive light, and maybe people that aren't even educated in the sport itself, what would be your advice to somebody who's going through somebody speaking for them, which I can't stand that people, and I say it to you all the time, I say it to players and coaches all the time. I'm like, I'd rather you guys speak on the subject instead of have somebody speak for you. So what's your advice to somebody out there who is dealing with outside noise?
Yeah, it's funny because I feel like people have been speaking on my life and my career since I was a senior in high school. So it's funny that you say that because it's a little ridiculous, but my advice would be know what you want in life and give everything plus more into that goal, and keep a small circle. Keep positive people around you, people that you could share your goals with, like-minded people. You don't need all these friends. You don't need a huge circle. You just need a few. I got, 5 high school friends that I talk to all the time, and they kind of keep me grounded. And I think one time someone said something to me on Twitter, and my friends were in the group chat like, dude, you want me to go off on this kid right now? You want me to go off on him? And I was like, no, do not. So just have a small circle that has your back, and keep your family close.
All comes back to family here on NeapoliDANS, with two Italians talking with each other. It is an honor and a privilege, as always, Mr. Villari, to be here with you in NeapoliDANS. You can catch us every Wednesday at 9:45 a.m. Eastern Time, exclusively on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora inside the Great Lakes Honda City Studios. My guy, you are worth, I mean, you've been traveling, you've been running around, I've been traveling and running around.
and you are worth sitting on an airport floor for to make sure we get this thing done.
My man, thank you, brother.
Course,
Great conversation as always.
As always, sir. Go out there and keep doing your thing and keep proving yourself right.
I will, man. Get home safe, all right?
You too.
All right.
This is Jim Dispenza, owner of Game Point Sports Complex. You hear the same story across any sport that kids play and any sport that adults play. There's never enough places to play. That was definitely true with volleyball, definitely true with basketball. Could be cheerleading, it could be field hockey, which is what we're seeing now. Every sport has a lack of places to play, and I think Syracuse in particular is a place where it's really bad. Despite the fact that we've got a lot of athletic talent around here, we just seem to have not enough places for people to play, and they're going to different places. They're going to Rochester, they're going to, Buffalo. They're going all different places because we don't have a place here, and I felt like that should change. This was a long project from planning all the way through execution to opening doors. A lot of work went into it, obviously, a lot of money, a lot of resources, and the dream always was kids being in the gym, having a good time. And I've always felt like sports is the most unfiltered joy that you can observe with people, that people can experience, because it is fun, it is a sense of accomplishment, it's all of that wrapped into one thing, and so watching kids going up and down the court with big smiles on their faces has been just amazing experience. I'm looking forward to years to come of that same thing. We've taken the time to invest in multiple sports, and then what we're finding is the mere fact that we have a large, clean, well-lit space has opened a lot more doors for us beyond basketball, volleyball, pickleball. Now we're having some interest from cheerleading. We've got girls field hockey coming in, and then also there's quite a bit of room for spectators. We've got bleachers, we've got benches, we've got a concession lounge where people can get food and drinks. We're going to have multiple sports going at the same time, using every square inch of this place for what it was conceived for, which is basically people to come in, have a good time in the sport that they prefer. We manage each situation differently. Everybody has different ability to afford different things. Some are bringing 10, 15 people, some are just 2 people. I've had a lot of situations where it's a father shooting around with his son, it's a mother playing pickleball with her daughter or with her son, and in those situations come up and we work with people, and that's allowed us to have groups from 2 people up to 30 people and have some flexible pricing behind it. We're an organization that is here to work with the community any way we can, and I guess part of it is just making sure that we have the flexibility to put together a plan that makes sense regardless of the size of your group. So in order to book time, the best option is to go to our website, gamepointsports-syr.com. You can click from there and sign up for events, sign up for your own particular training, sign up for birthday parties, all of that.
Or great cars, great people, great lakes. In these unique times, there are those in our community that give us a sense of normalcy and positivity. Pizza Man on 50 Oswego Street in Baldwinsville has been here for you for over 35 years and is here now. Call 315-638-1234 or order online at pizzamanbville.com to bring those familiar tastes into your home. And remember to come see our monthly on-site broadcasts centered around the community and our Baldwinsville Bees. Pizza Man in Baldwinsville. Any way you slice it, they are always here for you. Looking for your next ride? Look no further than Great Lakes Honda City, located on 7140 Henry Clay Boulevard in Liverpool, New York. Serving our community for decades, their new and pre-owned vast array of vehicles are available to you Monday through Saturday on site. To search from home, shop at GreatLakesHondaCity.com. Call 315-365-5576 to set up an appointment. That's 315-365-5576 for Great Lakes Honda City, 7140 Henry Clay Boulevard in Liverpool, New York. Great cars, great people, Great Lakes. Here's a message from Renee from Bryan's Landing, located on 6523 East Seneca Turnpike in Jamesville, New York. Open Tuesdays and Wednesdays for dinner, Thursday through Saturday for lunch and dinner, and Sundays for brunch.
It's a lot like the way that my mom and dad ran their restaurant. We have put in place a lot of people that are family to us, very similar to how my dad hired people that were family to him. And then the tradition I'm carrying on is a lot of the items that are on our menu are my dad's. And he taught our chefs how to recreate his dishes. So I think that Tommy McInerney, who our executive chef is, to him it is an art. And I think that when he does create a dish, it's not just about making the food taste delicious, which is definitely our priority, but it's an art to him, and it's almost like his canvas on a plate where he just wants the colors to look great, and people love it because he takes pride in that. And Bryan and I appreciate that. We want it to obviously look good and taste good. I will tell you, when we opened up, it was 6 weeks before COVID. And what was amazing was the community, our friends and family stepped up, and everybody did takeout. Everybody supported us. Our hearts were just so filled. So to Bryan and I, obviously our friends come all the time, and we just have repeat customers in Jamesville, and I think people going to our previous restaurant in Green Lakes are making the trip to come to Bryan's Landing to support us. And I mean, I think we have great food and a great atmosphere. So it's very, very important to us.
Head to Bryan's Landing, located on 6523 East Seneca Turnpike in Jamesville, New York, where memories have become recipes that are now meals to share with you. Tuesdays and Wednesdays for dinner, Thursday through Saturday for lunch and dinner, and on Sundays for brunch. And be sure to come out for live music Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Life gets busy, and sometimes that means us running around. So Canine Camp Dog Daycare offers you an opportunity to give your dog a place to stay while you take care of what you need to throughout the day. Canine Camp Dog Daycare is located on 228 Old Bridge Street in East Syracuse, New York. You can see it from the highway, and it's just off of Erie Boulevard across from BJ's Wholesale Club. Call 315-437-7110. That's 315-437-7110 to schedule an appointment to bring your dog in and tour the facility. Appointments are Monday through Thursday after 6:30, where you and your dog can see everything that Canine Camp Dog Daycare has to offer, including a self-serve dog wash and a retail store filled with all of your dog's wants and needs, including food, treats, harnesses, leashes, and more, making Canine Camp Dog Daycare your one-stop shop for your furry loving friend. Right, Lily? And a welcome back here to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. Happy to be here with you Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern Time. Hope you're having yourselves a wonderful day today. It is cold in central and upstate New York. It is frigid up here. But you know what warms up everybody? Love and positive conversation. So do that, right? Be happy you have heat. Be happy you have food. Be happy you have clothes. Be happy you have water that's clean, that you can drink. Be happy that you have, simply that you woke up this morning. How about that? Right? Well, Dan, I'll be happy if I get that car. I'll be happy if I get that money. I'll be happy if this partnership works out. I'll be happy if this girl says yes. I'll be happy if this guy, asks me out. I'll be happy if I go to this place, if I go on this vacation. Just be happy to be alive. I look at my dog and I miss her when I'm on the road, and it's hard. It's really hard because she's my daughter, and I don't treat her any differently than I would treat my
if I had a human being daughter. And so to me, I mean, I just love her. And I look at her and she'll wag her tail. And you guys know that when I'm in the studio, I'll bring her in the studio or have her in my office. And she'll just sit there. She'll sleep next to, a lot of the time she's sleeping right next to me while I'm doing the show. She's just there sleeping because she wants to be close to her dad. And, my whole thing is to give that back to her times infinity, right? Take all the love she gives me and to give it back to her. And, when I'm on the road, I'm chasing my dreams, but I'm always thinking about her, always talking about her. I think, as a single man in life, when I'm dating, I think one of the first things I talk about is my dog. And, people, oh, what's her name? What kind of dog is she? Da, da, da. But I love talking about her because she's awesome. And, I'm happy that my mom is alive. My mom does like all these really nice things, right? She knows what you need before you know that you need it. And that's just something that she's always been able to do. Like, she'll walk up to me and hand me a bowl, and I'm like, I just had breakfast, right? You go visit your mom, and you're like, you had breakfast, and what is in this bowl? And it's just a bowl of fruit. And it's the fruit that she knows you love. And my mom always puts raisins in her fruit salad. And I don't know a lot of places that do. And she knows I love it, so there's always raisins. Getting to... my dad will call me up and be like, hey, you want to go to dinner? And we go to dinner and we just talk about life. Just hang out. We should be grateful for the time that we have. I can't wake up this morning and be like, well, I was in Miami for the last 4 days. That was amazing. Now I'm going to be sad until I get on another plane. No. Life is life. And whether we're covering high school sports or college sports or professional sports, or I'm just on vacation, whatever's going on, I'm just happy to be here. I'm happy to be part of the party. And, you got to be purposeful and intentional with your time. You got to know why you do what you do. And if you're professional in one thing, you should be professional in everything. If you care deeply about, being on time, you should care about the look of what you're doing. If you care about the look and the essence of what you're doing, you should care about consistency. There's a lot of things that you can control that really affect your happiness. If you're late, you get anxious. I know that about myself. If I'm running behind schedule, my stomach hurts. How do I not make my stomach hurt? Don't be late. I know when I go to a press conference, I know where I like to sit and my intentions of being there. So I got to make sure I get there early and sit where I want to sit. Had a great seat yesterday morning. But or like traveling, right? My mom got me a new bag for Christmas. I love the bag. Airlines don't seem to know how to handle the bag. And so now I'm sitting here saying to myself, during the winter, should I use my green bag? And then when it's nicer outside, should I go back to using this one? Because I love this bag. But should I wait to use it? Because it seems like in the cold, wet times, if and when they have to take it and put it on the belly of the plane, I'd rather them take the green one than the gray one because the green one is thicker. And if they get it wet, there's a better chance that it's not going to bother stuff inside. So since I can't control other people and their care or lack of care for my stuff and my property, I can control what I allow them to handle. So if I think they're not handling something right and I keep giving them the same thing, definition of insanity. If I switch it up and give them something else that's thicker and willing to take a beating that some people give to these bags or lack of care, then, then I'm sitting here saying, yeah, maybe they mistreat both of my bags, but this bag can take it a little bit more, right? It's just about adjusting. It's about adjusting. And, you never know when you're going to need something, and you you have to be able to learn, right? I mean, people, I think an Uber driver that I had was laughing when I said this recently, but I said, when I talk to a person in New York, in central New York and upstate New York, that like winter's coming and they start flipping out, complaining, talking about how cold they are, how much they hate it, and this is terrible. I'm like, you've lived here for 30 years. It would be atypical, strange, and a sign of the apocalypse if it was warm in a winter in Syracuse. So 99.9999999% of the time it's going to be cold in the winter and it's going to snow. If you don't like it, move. You can't change the weather, but you can change your scenery. And that's something we have to learn, right? We complain about things out of our control, and you can complain about those things, and 20 years later, you're complaining about the same things, right? I bring a carry-on most of the time because I don't trust people with checking a bag. And it's funny how you pay to check a bag, you don't pay for a carry-on, but then you have to be more concerned about the bag you paid for than the one you didn't. And it's just, and I've talked to I fly a lot, and I've talked to a bunch of people. I talked to people yesterday in the airport, and we were just talking about how confusing things are. Now, how like, you board in like group 4, but you're seat 41. I board in group 8, and I'm seat 20, and just the confusion over all this stuff. And last night being in the airport, everybody just wanted to go home. I will say this, we were a docile bunch, I think, because we were all tired. And everybody just wanted to get to where they were getting to. They wanted somebody to care. And, these last couple times that I flew, I felt like personally people didn't care about my bag, me getting on a flight. And I thought, I took it personally. And what I saw last night is they didn't really have a lot of care about any of us. And that showed me that you have to have humility. You have to pull yourself back and say, like, it feels personal because it was my bag. But we were all on the flight 3 hours late. We were all just hoping to hear good news and go home. We just wanted to get to where we were trying to get to. And if you realize that about life, we're all just trying to get to where we want to get to. Right? We're trying to get to the grocery store. We're trying to get to school. We're trying to get to the gym. We're trying to get to work. We're trying to, get our kid to practice. We're trying to get our dog to the vet. We're trying to get our dog to the water so we can take a walk. We're trying to get to the basketball court. And really, in the bigger picture, we're all trying to get back to heaven. And you got to appreciate the road, right? I feel like I'm 21. I'm 40. But when I was 21, I would tell myself, don't waste the next 19 years. And at 40, I would say, well, you thought you're going to be 21 forever, and now you're 40. Celebrate being 40. Because you're going to be 41, and you don't want to look back and go, man, I really didn't make the most of 40. I didn't make the most of 39. So time is really important. And that's why with Dan Villari in the segment you just heard, he was like, I told him, I said, I'm sitting down in an airport so that we can do this. And I found a really good place. And like the background matched my college football playoff, and it looked like I did it on purpose. And kind of letting y'all see behind the scenes a little bit. And he was like, bro, I told you we could have done this at a different time. I was like, no, we got to get the show up for the morning. I want to make sure, we get everything recorded and set. And, and I was editing in the airport, like putting the intro and the outro on both sides of it. Like I was doing that at the airport, and I was happy to do it. And I told him that. He's like, bro, I told you we could reschedule. I said, no, I want to do it now. Like I can give you 15 minutes of my time. I can give you 20 minutes of my time. And I love that time with him. And talking with Dan, I just keep thinking to myself, like, I really just want to have a big Italian family dinner and just sit and laugh and talk and yell, because that's what Italians do. Not in a bad way. We're just trying to be heard. And so if you're in an Italian household and you don't yell, then no one's going to hear your story. You got to get loud sometimes. And, I don't know. When I talk with Dan, I just picture like I really want to have a meal just with a bunch of us and pray together and laugh together and, try and figure out the world together. And that's what it's all about, right? Spending our time wisely with intentional relationships and intentional focus and work. This world is clouded by a lot of nonsense that doesn't matter. Other people's opinions of you don't matter. Think about it like this. Those people had the same opinions of you, arguably, before social media. And you carried on your life for how many years, even though they had those opinions of you? So carry on the same way. You didn't know that they didn't like you back then? Now you know they don't like you because they have Facebook? What does it matter? Did you die when they thought 10 years ago that they didn't like you? So, I think that's a big reminder, right? You wake up every morning because God woke you up, not because somebody on social media that's an internet troll wants to talk to you. It's God. It's God. And, like Dan said, you don't have to have a lot of people in your life. You just have to have quality. And I've always thought that. It's not about how many business partners I have. It's about the quality of the people I have. It's not about how many friends I have. It's about the quality of the people I have. It's not about how many family members that have the same blood as me are in my life. It's about the quality of the ones that choose to be. Right? My dog was a stranger to me 9 years ago. Now I love her as if she was a human child. I love her the same. And I can't get enough of her. I think she's incredible, and I love being her dad. And I just feel like we got to spend more time with the things that actually are the things we miss, right? You miss the good, you don't miss the bad. And I think we got to spend time enjoying it instead of missing it. With that being said, we're going to take a quick step aside. When we come back, I will be sharing an all-new episode of DT on the CFP. And guess who I'm with this morning? The executive director of the College Football Playoff. It's one of the biggest conversations I've ever brought to you in my 22-plus years, and it comes up right after this inside the Great Lakes Honda City Studios. Stay with us.
Carvel DeWitt, it's what happy tastes like. Do you know why? Because we make ice cream. Creamy, rich, flavorful ice cream. Not yogurt or iced milk like some of our competitors. Ice cream. Fresh, by hand, daily. For the calorie conscious, we have something new for you. Our new Carvelite. Same great flavor, creaminess, and texture of our regular ice cream with only 35 calories an ounce. So whether you want an ice cream cake, flying saucer, dasher, carvalanche, hard or soft ice cream, we will satisfy your craving with our fresh, handmade regular or new Carvelite ice cream. Carvel DeWitt. It's what happy tastes like.
The Wildcat Sports Pub in Camillus, New York is located on 3680 Milton Avenue in the Home Depot Plaza. It is your family-friendly sports bar and restaurant. Folks, some sports bars aren't family-friendly. Some family-friendly restaurants are not sports bars. The Wildcat Sports Pub in Camillus, New York is proud to be both. It is that marriage that you've been looking for years. The Wildcat Sports Pub is your home base for your sports bar and restaurant needs, games for the kids, indoor and outdoor activities, and enough things on the menu to come back every single week and get to try something new. They're open Sundays from noon to 8 p.m., Monday through Wednesday, 11 a.m. to 11 p.m., and Thursday through Saturday from 11 a.m. to midnight. For reservations and party information, call 315-487-2222 for the Wildcat family-friendly sports pub and restaurant.
GG Cards and Breaks. Like, comment, subscribe.
GG Cards and Breaks coming to you on 639 Delmar Place in Syracuse, New York is your one-stop sports card and trading card shop. Go be a big kid every Tuesday through Saturday from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. and on Sundays from 10 to 5. you will not be disappointed in that opportunity to go out there and just celebrate. If you never collected cards before, I'm telling you, you jump into it and it just kind of grabs you from the first moment. It brings you closer to the teams you love, the players you love, just, you know, the characters you love, games you love to play, and it builds relationships around it. I think the best thing about sports is the memories around it and the relationships around it. And, you know, I can close my eyes and go back to going to a card shop as a kid with my mom or my grandma's. I can't remember what I ate for breakfast sometimes, but I can remember, oh, I got that card, and, you know, my grandmother brought me to get a card. My mom told me to not have my grandma take me to the card shop. She took me to the card shop, and then my grandmother had a whole plan of what I was supposed to do with the cards and how I was supposed to put them in with my other cards and get rid of the bag that I got it in, so my mom didn't think they were new, so that she knew that we didn't go. So, like, I still remember those things. And, you know, Mom, if you're listening, I don't care. Grandma did a lot of really cool stuff for me, and, you know, I'm not sorry that we went and did the. My grandma did that all the time, though. She, you know, we would do really fun stuff, and she'd be like, "Don't tell your mom," and it was never bad. But, you know, my grandma was a little bit of a rebel, and so am I in my own right. So go be a rebel today and be a big kid. Go to GG Cards and Breaks. Go enjoy what it is to be a big kid, to have fun, open a pack, open a box, find some really cool things. Some of the best memories I've ever had when it comes to sports card collecting and the community is at GG Cards and Breaks. And we're going to be at the Wildcat for trade night this Thursday, tomorrow, January 22nd, from 6 p.m. to 9:30 p.m. We look forward to seeing you out there. Bring your card. If you don't have any cards, bring yourself. If you have cards, bring them. Buy, sell, and trade with the community. We take over the Wildcat Sports Pub's entire private party side, and it's great every single month. GG Cards and Breaks. We'll see you at the Wildcat, 3680 Milton Avenue in Camillus, New York. Come eat, drink responsibly, and buy, sell, and trade cards. Murph's going to be with me for the first time ever at a GG Cards and Breaks trade night at the Wildcat, and we will see you on 3680 Milton Avenue this Thursday, January 22nd, 6 to 9:30 p.m. This is Dan Tortora here with Rich Clark of the College Football Playoff. Rich, first and foremost, congratulations on another fantastic year here in Miami.
Thank you, Dan. It was spectacular. The game, I couldn't have asked for a better game. We couldn't, as fans, have had a better turnout from both Miami and Indiana fans, but those teams really left it on the field, and we were just proud to be a part of it.
When you go from city to city and you go through this handoff, we know that there's the 6 bowls that are part of the CFP and obviously 6 cities that have to do with that. Las Vegas is not one of those cities of the bowl games that are in the quarterfinal and semifinal. So why was it important for you to go to Vegas, who doesn't have one of the 6 bowls?
Well, Vegas really, it's a destination city. People just like to go to Vegas. But also they know how to throw some big events, great events, and increasingly more big sporting events. I went to the Super Bowl there. They now have the Raiders, they have the Golden Knights, they have the A's coming. It is becoming a major sports town, and it was important for us to establish ourselves there as well. But it's going to be a spectacular event again with Allegiant Stadium. It is one of the best in the country, and we're just excited about it. It's going to be awesome.
You head up this college football playoff committee, but just what you can say about the team of everyone that's in that room and how difficult it is to really make this decision every year, whether it be 12 or whatever it will be.
It's tough. Great discussions, great insights. We have a room of real experts, people that have lived college football for good portions of their lives. and they're all committed to doing a good job. Now, it's a hard job because the parity in college football is really tough, and the differences between teams is sometimes imperceptible to fans like me or some of the other folks that are out there that love college football. But these are coaches, journalists, athletic directors, other people that have spent their lives, former players, invested in college football, so they understand and they're able to dig into the details about a team, watch the film of a team, explore the data of a given group of teams, and make some really hard choices. But that's what it takes. And with teams, I think achieving a level of parity that's been unprecedented, it makes it tough, but I think they did a fine job this year.
Two final notes, one of them being the fact that we hear 16, we hear 24. Just your thoughts on going through this process of what the future could look like.
Well, expansion is on the table. We're going to have a decision by January 23rd of either we're going to expand to 16, expand to 24, or stay at 12. I will say that expansion, I understand it completely because we have so many good teams, so many great teams in college football, but we also have a good playoff format right now. So I will just say I am very comfortable with whatever the decision is because regardless, we're going to make it great, but it's up to the commissioners to really look at the details and to try to understand what's really best for the whole of college football. So we'll see where they land on this, but I'm excited for next year. It will be a great year, another banner year for college football, regardless of that decision.
And a final note, just knowing that there's 10 FBS conferences, how important it is to have representation each year, just kind of how you look at that, and then maybe what one of the biggest challenges has been for you in your chair that you sit in for the CFP.
So I think it's important, if I'm understanding you, on the management committee to have representation there. Of course, I believe that having all of those conference commissioners, the 10 FBS commissioners as a part of our management committee is really important because all teams, whether they're what we call the group of 6 teams or the A4 teams or Notre Dame, they have a shot. And it's important that they have a chance to get into the playoff, even if it's a slim one. I think it gives hope to the players and the athletes and the coaches. It gives hope to fans, but it also keeps people engaged in the season all the way up to the end. And we want people to watch college football in the regular season and then to bring it into the postseason. So having representation across the board, I think is critical because college football is a bigger enterprise than just the playoff, and we don't want to exclude anybody from an opportunity to win a national championship.
And then that other piece, maybe the biggest challenge that you've had. I mean, we all know that adversity kind of makes us who we are, right? So when you look back on your moments with the CFP up to this point, what has been a moment or two that you felt like, hey, I'm happy I learned that lesson, I'm happy I went through that?
Well, I'll tell you one thing that was really a challenging moment was last year's Sugar Bowl when there was the attack in New Orleans, and we had a game the night of that attack that we were supposed to play, and to make the decisions that we had to make to do the right thing, not just for college football, but for the city of New Orleans. Did I say Las Vegas? I meant New Orleans, but it was the attack in New Orleans. And we had to make some really hard choices, and we ended up postponing that game, which was hard for the teams that were participating and the fans who were there, but it was the right thing to do for the city of Las Vegas. They needed to recover, they needed some healing, and we needed to make sure that our security situation was where it needed to be. So that was a tough one, sort of an in the moment learning lesson for me. I think from a broader perspective, the real learning for me has come in just how we move from a 14 playoff to a 12-team playoff and making that transition. And change is always hard, and I came in right in the middle of it. So that was something that, as a leader, to manage change is always a critical skill set. But what I'll say is I have the best team at the CFP. Our team, the team that I inherited from Bill Hancock, my predecessor, is absolutely incredible. and they helped us to really transition in almost seamless fashion from a 14 playoff to a 12-team playoff. And wherever we go from here, it's going to be equally seamless.
Avicoli's restaurant, located on 7839 Oswego Road in Liverpool, New York, has been serving our community for decades. Your place to go for home cooking on the corner of Route 57 and Wetzel Road is just minutes from Liverpool High School. And every single month, Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora is on site, on location, with Liverpool sports, student athletes, coaches, and administration telling their stories throughout the year. We look forward to seeing you on site at Avicoli's for their casual pizza side, their fine dining, as well as their bar. And of course, you can order online at myavicollis.com. That's myavicollis.com. For takeout, delivery, and catering, call 315-622-5100. That's 315-622-5100. Come on in to the neighborhood spot Avicoli's, open 7 days a week in Liverpool, New York. K9 Campground Dog Boarding is your home away from home for your furry-loving friends. Open 7 days a week with drop-off and pickup times in the morning and later on in the day and early evening. K9 Campground Dog Boarding is the spot to trust with your dog for short and long-term stays. Call 315-299-4013 for more information. That's 315-299-4013, and go to k9campground.com as well. That's K9, ground.com, where you will find all of the information on their different cabins, which include the classic cabin, executive cabin, grand cabin, and luxury cabin. K9 Campground Dog Boarding, where your dog will have indoor and outdoor areas as well as their own private cabin for any size, any breed, as well as dogs with different needs. Dog parents and dogs alike choose K9 Campground Dog Boarding. Isn't that right, Lily? Looking for your next ride? Look no further than Great Lakes Honda City, located on 7140 Henry Clay Boulevard in Liverpool, New York. Serving our community for decades, their new and pre-owned vast array of vehicles are available to you Monday through Saturday on site. To search from home, shop at GreatLakesHondaCity.com. Call 315-365-5576 to set up an appointment. That's 315-365-5576 for Great Lakes Honda City, 7140 Henry Clay Boulevard in Liverpool, New York. Great cars, great people, Great Lakes. And welcome back here to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora inside the Great Lakes Honda City studios that you just heard from. Great Lakes Honda City, the place to go to buy and lease new and used vehicles available to you on the lot on 7140 Henry Clay Boulevard in Liverpool, New York. Proud to have them as our exclusive studio partner, as we have been with Great Lakes Honda City for over a decade. I've gotten cars from them for over a decade, and I put my money where my mouth is. I spend my money at Great Lakes Honda City because I appreciate them, I appreciate the team, I appreciate the Honda product. I love it. I feel safe in it. And, you know, I get great gas mileage, and I'm spoiled, right? I got home yesterday. It's -12. I got heated seats. I'm good to go. Ready to rock. So make sure you head out to Great Lakes Honda City today. You can get a sneak peek of their inventory by going to GreatLakesHondaCity.com. Let them know that DT sent you. We're up and down the East Coast, the Midwest, the West Coast, and all around the globe on YouTube.com and Facebook.com, both /WakeUpCallDT, and always happy to be with you there, as well as on wakeupcalldt.podbean.com. Make sure that you go to Amazon Music, Audible, iHeartRadio, iTunes, and Apple Podcasts, Player FM, Podbean, Podchaser.com, Podvine, Spotify, TuneIn, and YouTube. All you got to do is search Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora on these outlets, or one word, Wake Up Call DT. Like, subscribe, follow. It's free. Over 2,000 episodes on Podbean alone.
Much love to our wonderful team of support in Central and Upstate New York. Great Lakes, Honda City, Carvel DeWitt, the Wildcat Sports Pub, GG Cards and Breaks, Myers Creek, Bryan's Landing, Canine Camp Dog Daycare, Ma and Pa's, the snack capital of the world, Game Point Sports Complex, Pizza Man, Chick-fil-A in DeWitt, Canine Campground Dog Boarding, Ma and Pa's, got to shout them out once again for being the snack capital of the world. Mother's Cupboard, where I have my own sandwich. Go and get it today. The Cuse Mac Mother, bacon, egg, and cheese inside a 2-piece of French toast. Pick it up and eat it like a sandwich. Cut it up and have it with some syrup. Chick-fil-A, Cicero, Avicoli's. And, of course, we are the exclusive multimedia marketing partner of your Bryan and Stratton College Bobcats of Syracuse. The Bobcats have been with me for 4 years, and we have had unprecedented coverage of men's and women's soccer, men's and women's basketball, and baseball. We've done it differently with Bryan and Stratton College of Syracuse, and we hope you've appreciated it. Student athletes, coaches, administration, and alumni. Find it all by going to youtube.com/wakeupcalldt. Click subscribe, hit the notification bell, and find our BSC Syracuse playlist. The Bobcats are also on wakeupcalldt.com's homepage and underneath the exclusive partners tab. For more information, go to syracuse.bscbobcats.com. Go Bobcats. Would it be? That's right, baby. Right there. That big old B tells you it's Binghamton University every Tuesday at 10 a.m. Eastern Time. This week a little bit different because of our travel and being there for the college football playoff. But the Binghamton Bearcats here with us on Wake Up Call. Tuesdays at 10 a.m. Eastern Time worldwide. Student athletes, coaches, administration, and alumni hang out with the wonderful Bearcats by going to youtube.com/wakeupcalldt. Click subscribe, hit the notification bell, find the Binghamton playlist. The Bearcats are also on wakeupcalldt.com's homepage and underneath the exclusive partners tab. For more information on Binghamton, go to binghamtonbearcats.com and go Bearcats. The Onondaga Community College Lasers are exclusive multimedia marketing partners with Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. We've had a 6-month opportunity to bring you unprecedented coverage of OCC, and we have one more month to do that with you. Happy to do that, and happy to bring you this special opportunity. OCC should have had it a long time ago. We're happy we got to do something special with them for a half a year here once all is said and done. Student athletes, coaches, administration, all on youtube.com/wakeupcalldt. Click subscribe, hit the notification bell, find our OCC playlist. The Lasers are also on wakeupcallsdt.com's homepage and underneath the exclusive partners tab. For more information, go to onondagalazers.com and go Lasers. I want to thank y'all for being a part of the show today. Head over to Ma and Pa's and get your taste buds woken up in the best of ways on 201 7th North Street in Liverpool, New York. Big time thanks to Erik, Mattox, and Richie Martinez of OCC Men's Lacrosse. Go and support them this season. And always, God bless to them all, and God bless to their family on and off the field and their brother up in heaven. Big time, speaking of brother, big time shout out to my other half, my better half of NeapoliDANS, Dan Villari, was talking about how outside noise by definition belongs outside, and talking about a lot of different things, including a shout out to Nunzio Campanelli, who I'm a big fan of. And many thanks. Speaking of being a big fan of, I love the college football playoff, and I am humbled, appreciative, and thankful that I had the wonderful, wonderful, once-of-a-lifetime opportunity to speak with the executive director of the college football playoff, that being Mr. Rich Clark, on a bunch of things that are all pertinent to the times and time-sensitive and extremely valuable to the college football world and collegiate athletics and really sports in general across this country and the entire world, because we know that a lot of people obviously are paying attention to the college football playoff. So thanks to Rich Clark. I hope you have a wonderful day. Continue to find us on Facebook. I'll be at the Syracuse game tonight. I have gone to bed after 3 a.m. for the next 2 days, so why not after 1 again today? So the game is at 9 p.m. on a Wednesday night. This is what happens when you schedule with a conference and you're not one of the teams that has played well. You get put at really non-favorable times. So I'm not going to complain because I love the credential, love the opportunity, love being welcomed inside. I was the first self-created, self-sustaining internet company, as far as I know, ever credentialed by Syracuse Athletics for football and basketball. So I am definitely happy to be there. I may sleep at halftime in a little hammock. So if you see me, and I'm asleep, leave a note, say hi. I'll get to you when I wake up. But happy to be there with my guy Isaac Alford tonight. And looking forward to seeing you all tomorrow at GG Cards and Breaks Trade Night. I'm going to have to take a nap during the day today. So I hope you have a wonderful day. Stay safe, stay well. And once again, Facebook at Wake Up Call DT, X at Call DT, Instagram at Wake Up Call _DT. From the Great Lakes Honda City Studios, we say, God bless, no stress, do your best. If you'd like to support the show and all of the shows as well as my company, the best way to do it is to go to wakeupcalldt.com and click on the shop button to shop our merchandise today and every day. I'll talk with you soon. Thank you, Erik. Thank you, Richie. Thank you, Dan. And thank you, Rich. Have a beautiful day, and we'll talk soon.